This is a continuation of the lesson on solid environment and engineering in the subject Environmental Science and Engineering. Consider the lesson on ecosystem linear programming modeling. An ecosystem entity, as earlier mentioned, got a goal of maximizing its benefit, which is expressed as 10x plus 12y, where x is the amount of a fuel needed to produce energy and y is the amount of another fuel needed to produce energy. It is a goal, therefore, or an objective function to maximize 10x plus 12y, the benefit derived out of energy production. Where x is the amount of a fuel needed to produce energy, and y is the amount of another fuel needed to produce energy. The ecosystem entity is limited to processing 4 units of fuel. The goal of maximizing 10x plus 12y, therefore, is subject to a production limitation of only 4 units of the fuel to be processed. The ecosystem entity may use an amount x and an amount y, which therefore may be less than 4, or may use an amount of x and y so that the sum of the amounts or the quantities is equal to 4. The use of the first fuel results in the release of a pollutant quantified as 3 times the amount of the first fuel. So 3 times the amount of the first fuel is the amount of pollutant released by the use of the first fuel. The use of the second fuel is meant to release the pollutant in the amount of 5 times the amount of the second fuel. 5 times the amount of the second fuel is the expression of the quantity of the pollutant released. The sum of the quantities of the pollutants released may be less than or equal to 15 but not greater than 15, where 15 is a pollution constraint. Notice here that the pollutant release of the entity is limited to 15 units. The set of inequalities representing the constraints in the goal of maximizing 10x plus 12y does not include only the production constraint and the pollution constraint. The system includes the positivity constraint that expresses that x can never be negative. It may equal 0 or may be greater than 0 but not negative. as it is impossible for x to be negative. Another positivity constraint in the system is expressing that y is greater than or equal to 0 and can never be less than 0.